Welcome to the Home Buyer Seminar. I'm Bill Gross. We get together every week and talk about either your first home or your next home. And I'm a real estate broker in Los Angeles, California. I'm here along with my colleague and good friend and superstar listing agent. That's you, Patricia.
Patricia Castillo.
I would say Patricia Castillo, but I can't pronounce your name properly. Patricia
Yes, Patricia
Castillo.
Castillo.
I'm working on my accent. I really am. And our good friend,
Shannon
That's
Lender.
good.
How's it going, guys?
because you got to have a lender as a friend. You can't buy a house without a lender. At least your first house, probably, right?
Yeah.
You can, but you probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't buy a house for cash today. So anyhow, what's going on in the marketplace today, guys?
I mean, we're busy, right? We're all cranking. I think people are out here buying. Things are moving and grooving. So, again, there's a lot of noise out there of how things are, not doing well. Things are slow. Economy's shaky, but I'm not seeing that at all. I mean, people are still looking to buy. They're still looking to make moves. I think it's again, it's case by case basis. It's up to you. Are you ready? Are you dedicated? And if so, there's activity out there. I am seeing again more flexibility in terms of credits. I don't know if it's a buyer's market or not, guys. You guys are more qualified to tell me, but I am seeing more buyers get their way. Let's just say that. So
Yeah, I would say that's softening. I use a tool. I'll show you guys.
Yeah, I would. Mhm.
I would say it's softening, and to get deals done, I use a tool, Altos Research, and it shows the market in LA overall down to 35. It's been 38, 39 last year before. It's been moving down continuously, slowly towards a balanced market from a strong seller's market. It's still a slight seller's market, but it's slighter than it used to be, and so you have to be on your game. You got to try to get buyers connected in and their contingencies pushed. And if you're a buyer side, you have the chance to negotiate in a way, I think. What do you see, Patricia?
Absolutely. I feel like buyers have more negotiating power right now. And maybe a few months ago or even last year, a buyer couldn't get a credit for closing costs. Maybe they couldn't get their termite inspection cleared. If there was termite work to be done on the property, the seller would say, let the buyer handle that. And so I'm seeing more of the meeting in the middle. So sellers are open to hearing and listening and not just slamming the door and saying no. Um, but I do feel like buyers have more negotiating power right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's some areas where sellers, like right now in Long Beach, there's there are more duplexes on the market. There are landlords that are like mom and pop landlords that are just trying to cash out their equity. They're, baby boomers. They don't want to deal with what are the three T's: toilets, tenants, and termites, right? So they just want to get
I've
rid
never
of the
heard that.
property.
That's
Yeah. And so one of my clients that I'm working with, he's actually coming into a settlement, and at this time, he did not have the earnest money deposit. And so I negotiated with the listing agent to accept our offer, open escrow, and our EMD, our earnest money deposit, was going to be sent like a week later. So,
Oof.
right. And so that's what I mean. Right now, there are sellers that are really motivated, and things that would not usually happen are happening right now. So I would just
Wow.
say, don't be afraid to ask. Normally, an escrow, once it's open, the buyer is required to send in the earnest money deposit into escrow within 3 business days. And that is one of the contingencies, right? You have to perform and send in the money to escrow. If the buyer does not, then the seller would issue a notice to perform. And in 48 hours, within that time frame, if the money's not in escrow, then they would issue that demand to cancel. So the buyer still has an additional 2 days to get the money into escrow. But that's just a really bad foot to start off on, right? You're starting off on the wrong foot at the beginning of escrow. So that's why there's a 72-hour, or I should say 3 business day due date, that time, that deadline for a buyer to get their money into escrow. But this seller that we came across was highly motivated and was willing to accept our offer and open escrow, and with no money, right, in escrow. And so these are things that these are, I should say, negotiations that would have not happened a few months ago or even last year. But sellers are seeing their properties sit on the market a little bit longer, which is kind of becoming the new norm right now. It's taking them a little bit of time to adjust to that. But I would say the market is still pretty strong overall. In fact, they just had Jerome Powell just had the Fed meeting yesterday and decided, rates are really not going to change. We were all waiting for this big announcement to see if rates were going to shift, if they were going to trend downward. And based off our unemployment rate, which is low, our inflation rate is low. They said the economy is strong. So all of those indicators are the reason why the interest rates are staying where they're at. So I submitted, on a different note, I submitted 2 offers for a buyer in Lakewood. Lakewood is pretty strong right now. They're getting between 3 and 5 offers on a property. And I'm waiting to hear back on our counter offer today. So
Nice.
if it goes through, we could be opening escrow tomorrow. But so these are things that we look at as far as where the areas are. Like, let's say our buyers are looking in Lakewood, Long Beach, Downey, Santa Monica. Are those areas still getting multiple offers? A lot of areas are. So you do have to come in strong as a buyer and not think that you're just going to come in and throw around any kind of terms and they're going to get accepted. You still have to be strategic in the offer that you're going to be presenting, to the seller.
Yeah. Another thing I'm seeing too, the last 3 offers that agents have submitted, and I've seen, obviously I'm CC'd as the lender, that there's credits already baked into just the offer themselves. Usually I see credits negotiated like in escrow with, inspections and things like that. But the last 3, maybe even 4 offers I've seen agents send, they're putting credits already into the offer. Hey, I want this price, but then they're already baking in the credit up front, which I'm not used to seeing a lot of. But I mean, hey, they're getting bolder now, that's for sure. Whether they're getting accepted, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm definitely seeing more of that lately. Yeah, so maybe not just the price.
It's a good market right now.
Yeah, you might not see it in the price, but like Patricia says, in the back end, sellers are way more lenient, open to negotiations, things like that, for sure.
Well, what I try to tell people is it's about perspective. There are realtors who say that their business is slow. That's not my experience. I know Patricia's busy because we just closed a deal, and I know she's got other stuff going on. I know she's got stuff going on with you, Shannon. I know some leads you got. So, the market might be slow for other people. I can tell you, we've all been working pretty consistently, and that's why we have business for the agents who don't. And I think that there's plenty of deals for those of us who are working. There's just not deals for those who aren't working. And same with sales. There are plenty of houses available for buyers who want to buy. And for sellers who want to sell, there's enough buyers, but you got to do the work and get involved in the game. So, but as far as the interest rates, it's just so funny to me. I see in the news, I feel like, you have this, it was kind of like, I'm not Catholic, but I watched, with interest. I don't even know why. I've always took interest in the new Pope. Even as a little boy, a couple of times the Pope transferred and it's, there's a certain spiritual power in the world. You feel that transition. And like the whole world's watching, like the smoke comes out. I forget how it's black. It doesn't mean they're ready. White, it means they're ready. And the white comes out, everybody cheers, I feel like we've been doing that with the Fed and interest rates for 6 months or so. And like every day here, like Patricia said, the smoke was the wrong color. They're not changing the rates yet. But they're going to at the end of the year. But, you look at a chart of interest rates, they've been pretty steady. And they're also kind of in the lower end of where they've been for the last, year and a half or so. So to me, it's like, yeah, would I like them to be lower by 1.5%? Sure. Do I think they should be based on where the U.S. Treasury bills are? Yeah, I think there's a 1.5 of fat in there that I think once the economy kind of works out inflation, it will drop. If it's not now, it'll be December. But what I can say is there's plenty of people buying houses with rates where they are today, and that's what's really important.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, in fact, The property that we just closed on, Bill, in Baldwin Park, it was a probate. It needed work. It
It's
was a
everything.
bedroom. I mean,
We had a squatter. It was a probate. It was a trust. It was litigation. It was
it had everything.
woo.
But it really did need a full remodel, and it was listed last year at 649. Then it went off the market. This year it came back on the market. Was listed at 699. And what did it close at?
Higher, 715, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, 715.
Well, it's funny because on that one, I was listing agent for half of the property. We had two parties. We had a probate, an estate of a deceased husband in probate at half. And then my client was trustee for a trust, which was the wife. And the other agent, who was a probate expert, listed the property. I don't think the listing was done properly, but he listed it, I think, at 649. And he had an offer right away he wants to take. I said, well, let's get on the market and see if we can't do better. And we got 715. And so we made our clients combined, I forget the exact amount extra, I want to say $50,000, $60,000 minimum, just by waiting around a little bit. And it wasn't even that long and it wasn't even that hard to deal with. But I do feel like sometimes people assume that because it's a tough deal, they just want to rush it and leave money on the table. And I don't think you have to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we need to wrap up a little bit here today because we all have some stuff going on real quick. So Patricia, what do you have going on this weekend? If someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to catch up with you? Are you going back to the loft at all?
Well, probably, I'm thinking probably next week during lunchtime.
Okay, we have a really nice
or maybe-
listing we're working on together in a downtown LA loft section with a beautiful pool area. If you want her to see the property, bring your bathing suit, bring a 6-pack and some chips, and have a fun time. It's a really great area. In fact, we're looking at having a party there for 100 people. But FYI. Okay, so anyhow, you'll be there next week, but if somebody's interested in seeing that property, otherwise, how can somebody get a hold of you?
So my cell phone, 323-365-9909.
And you're all over the IG. I mean, I'm only on Instagram looking for pictures of my grandkids, and all I see is you have an open house, you have a sale, you have a listing, you have this, you have that. So good job, man, keeping all over the place. Proud of you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I just capped with the XP, meaning, after you pay a certain amount of company dollar, you get 100% of your commission. So it's exciting. I'm helping more families get into homes and just helping them start, their real estate portfolio as well. So it's really exciting.
Is this the first year you capped?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
So proud of you. Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's very. At my old company, I don't want to say the name to embarrass them, Keller Williams. They would give you a cap.
Yeah.
ADXP, I don't want to embarrass them, Keller Williams. Anyhow, but ADXP, they give you, I think it's $400 or $200 of stock.
Yeah.
I don't care which it is. I'll take either one.
Wow.
Like, I don't care which it is. They're both better than the red hat. So there you go. And these days, you can't wear a red hat in many places.
Yes.
So you have to be careful
Yeah.
of that.
Fun fact: I actually used to be doing accounting for said company with caps, and yeah, there is a cap, but then there is not a cap. There's there's a lot of numbers that went into
Wow.
even the capped people. So
Yeah, they cap on the one thing, but not the other thing. Whereas at XP, you cap
Yeah.
on the whole thing, which is nice.
yeah,
So we have no royalty
You
fee.
don't cap on royalties. I think it was you capped on like office, but then you didn't cap on the royalties and the E&O insurance and the office. Their copy fees. There was so much.
Yeah.
I was doing that before I
Yeah.
actually got into what I was doing. So yeah.
I was an agent. That was my paycheck. I was just watching all these little charges.
I was
What
the one
that?
helping
What-
cut the paycheck, so I know.
Yeah.
I know those.
Yeah.
Those were.
Yeah. NXP, we don't have any royalties to cap on. Anyhow, we got to let Patricia go.
No worries.
Shannon, how's it we get a hold of you?
Yeah, Shannon. My number is 661-317-8484. My Instagram FUND Fun with Shannon.
Very good. I'm Bill Gross at Bill Gross Probate on social media. Thanks, y'all, for joining. If you have any questions, put them in the chat or description. Reply, thumbs up, subscribe. Love you guys. Thank you so much. Make it your best day ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.